Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Facebook astrology groups and sharing some thoughts on them. Well, of course, Facebook astrology groups can be very beneficial to others because it gives people a source for interaction. And people like me that don't really go out much, I've been somewhat reclusive. Many of you may know I have Saturn in the 12th house. I have a preponderance of planetary energy on the bottom half of my chart, and being a Cancer with Taurus rising, perhaps that figures prominently in being a homebody and being introverted, very enamored with my with domestic activities. But anyway, and it's good for people, especially that don't really go out much. I think, well, for those people, but it could be good for extroverted people as well that just want to uh, interact with others. And the thing about it is, people can share insights, of course, on astrological information. They can share different perspectives and viewpoints, and even learn different things, assimilate different astrological knowledge, and share and put posts on it where they can interact with people that have similar astrological energies and hear their insights connected with them. Now, the thing about it, too, is it's not just about becoming more learned. I mean, becoming more learned in astrology through this. It's also it gives people something to do. It can break monotony for some people. It can give people again. It's about the interaction, and also you can meet people that are also interested in astrology, even form friendships, of course, with them, make new acquaintances, make new friends, even if it's just Facebook friendships. This is something where, and even find out about positives connected with things that might seem very negative in astrology, such as, like, for example, I belong to that 12th house astrological group on Facebook. I really like it. It's one of the groups I mean, I don't know if I'm really enamored with any Facebook astrology group, but that might be the one where I participate the most frequently with, or I have over time since I've been a member of it. And again, going back to Saturn in the 12th house, I mean, I was even able to share some insights on that placement with somebody, and whoever else viewed it, and let them know that there was some good, actually some good aspects and connection with it. There was something in that many of you may have heard of that book, Secrets from a Stargazer's Notebook, and it talked about Saturn in the 12th house. It had a description on it, and it said something about these people that have this placement can give something about giving help, helping others help themselves, and it's a gift given only to the strong. They could be stronger than they know. I thought that was beautiful. That was something that I had answered with and let them know about that was a good quote from that book, and it showed that even people with Saturn in the 12th house can have some good qualities. I do believe that Saturn in the 12th house could also be good for working laboriously in seclusion and working, perhaps working hard vigorously for those that are less fortunate than many, such as the impoverished, the oppressed, the homeless, and the hungry. And the thing about it is, this could be, but going back to the main point, this is something too. What people have to understand about Facebook astrology groups, what's important too, and this might be minor or minuscule to some of you, but I think it's important. If somebody is going to, if you're going to make a post on something, and you have people that respond to it, and they're empathetic in their responses, and they're trying to reach out and respond to it. One fundamental thing is, I mean, there's no law or stipulation about this, but I think, just something to keep in mind, that try to keep a post up, or at least keep it up in time where you can answer, or at least hit like on the comments that are given on that post. Now, there was something one time perturbed me a little bit in recent time. Somebody had made a post on the 12th house astrological group on Facebook that And the thing about it is, they had reached out, and somebody had said they wanted to connect with people and interact, or something about someone wanted some friends and pen pals or what have you, and the person wanted to have more interaction this way. And I actually I responded to it, and I responded in putting a comment on there stating, talking a little bit about my chart having Saturn in the 12th house being somewhat reclusive, and having a very introverted chart, having a majority of my planets below the horizon, of course, below the horizon being in houses 1 through 6. And what happened was I responded to it, and somebody, not the person that made the post, but somebody else, responded and put a good comment, said that, hey Edwin, or something about, hey Edwin, I've subscribed to you some time ago or some years ago. I like your what you do. You get straight to the point. And I responded to that. But the thing about it is, apparently the person that had made the post on this had deleted uh, the post, because I couldn't find anywhere. I couldn't even find anything in my activity log anymore that was pertaining to the post as far as the comment I made on. So I'm sure, presumably, it had to be deleted. And the thing about it is, in this example, now it's not catastrophic or the end of the world by any means, but the fact is, I did put a comment on it, and then, I mean, that's really when you when you comment on someone's post, and then they just all of a sudden they delete the post, and they don't even hit like or acknowledge your comment. That was just that, you might as well be just deleting the comment that the person put on there. It's essentially the same thing to me. It's the end result is the same thing. Now, and I know it was not malicious. I don't think it was just something where maybe the person felt that they had to post on there for a certain amount of time, and they got the responses they wanted, or enough where they got what was needed from it, so they deleted the post. But the point being, I mean, what happens is when people do this and someone puts a comment on it, and then the post gets deleted, you don't even get acknowledged or that response from that person that made that post. It was basically you expended your energy and wasted your time on it. But that's only one minor nuance of as far as this whole thing about Facebook astrology groups. And I think, again, I mean, I do think they're more beneficial than they could be to someone's detriment. Of course, you're going to have some people on there that are, I mean, some will put real negative, derogatory remarks, and why if you might get something really hateful. Somebody might put their chart up and say, or might really make a negative comment about it, say this is a really bad chart or something, or why you even bother posting on this. So maybe you should be talking to someone else rather than someone in the astrology group, and put something real hateful and negative and discouraging. Now, you're also going to have those people that might even put salacious remarks on it. I remember one time, now, one of the ones I really do enjoy as far as Facebook astrology groups is that one about astrology of the face. And that one, I mean, has a lot of people put a lot of photos on it. It gets a lot of interaction, and it gets a lot of activity. And again, it's another group where you could ultimately maybe meet people that have like-minded interest in astrology, people that are enamored and infatuated with the subject. But I can remember there was one photo on it. Somebody had asked on it, the person that posted her photo on there said something like, well, what vibes do you get? And somebody had responded something like, well, sexual, in other words, sexual vibes. And the thing about it is, I mean, this is people have to remember too. I mean, you go on to a Facebook astrology group, I mean, it's about sticking with the subject at hand, and not you don't have to put something perverted or salacious on, as far as comments go, on the photos. And those, I mean, it's just about, and if somebody disagrees and with something, hey, it's just, it's about most people will put a constructive disagreement if they don't agree with something that is on a post, but they will you'll have some people that will not just be derogatory, just be very negative, very insulting. And whether it's done for attention or it's because some people are just miserable and unhappy with themselves. They have nothing else to do but put something exceptionally negative as far as commentary goes on these posts. And the thing too is, again, it's really about, I mean, like I said, the Facebook astrology groups can really be good. But I think it's important to remember too, people, that when you, I mean, if anybody joins any Facebook astrology group, this is just my belief and opinion on it, that what's important too is not to just use it as a means to get help and get insight into your chart. I understand there's people out there with very fundamental, rudimentary knowledge of astrology, and they want information on their charts, and there's nothing wrong with that. But remember that also you can those people interact. It's important to maybe to help others, even if you have limited knowledge, even if it's just on certain posts that you could actually help someone with. If it's more of an advanced astrology question, it's something like well, what is this, how is this going to affect when this activates my cardinal T-square or something, and it's more advanced. I understand if somebody doesn't have that knowledge of astrology to be equipped to answer it accordingly. But if it's something where you have basic fundamental knowledge and it's a question you could actually answer, then by all means try to help out and participate, because I do believe, I'm sure, with all the people that are in these Facebook astrology groups, you're going to have some people on there that are just going to use them just to get help for themselves and not understand about reciprocation and helping others out. So I think that's another thing that's very important as far as Facebook astrology groups go. And many of you may know, of course, I want to plug this in. I have some Facebook astrology groups. Well, I have one about it's astrology and appearance, and people on there are free to talk about anything pertaining to astrology and appearance, whether it's their chart or someone else's, and share their insights on it. And there's also, I have the YouTube astrology, so that's another group that I have. And anybody that's interested in YouTube astrological videos, or even people that make YouTube astrology videos, are welcome to join that one as well. I also have another one with people with Taurus rising, and if you have Taurus rising, you want to join. You don't necessarily have to have Taurus rising to join. I believe I have at least one person that doesn't have a Taurus ascendant that is part of that group. So, but if you're interested in that subject and Taurus ascendants, or if you have a Taurus rising, you want to join it, then by all means join that group. So anyway, well, that's pretty much it as far as my thoughts on Facebook astrology groups. And stay tuned next time, where I will be continuing my monthly horoscope segments. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.